Dear students, today we are going to demonstrate the physical experiments. One of the physical experiments like calorimetry. The title of the calorimetry experiment is to verify the Beer-Lambert's law by calorimetric method and calculate the molar extension coefficient of copper sulfate solution. In this experiment, the required chemicals are 0.01 molar copper sulfate, 2 molar ammonium hydroxide, then concentrated sulfuric acid. So, in this experiment, we will obtain the graph, that is the nature of the graph is the optical density versus protograph of optical density versus concentration of C+2 ions, formation of a straight line. That straight line is obtained only that must be passes through origin. That must be passes through origin. So that indicates the verification of Beer-Lambert's law. So in this case, you have to calculate slope of that line, that is slope is equal to AB by BC, that must be equal to epsilon into L, where L is length, epsilon is molar extension coefficient. Then I will start the experiment, calorimeter. So in this calorimeter experiment, we have to use the instrument like calorimeter, then the set of test tubes, then solutions like copper sulfate, that is 0.01 molar copper sulfate, then 1:1 ammonia solution, then the apparatus used are burette stand, so on. Okay, then directly I will start. So this experiment made of Beer-Lambert's law, which is made up of Beer-Lambert's law. Once again I will start. What do you mean by Beer-Lambert's law? Beer-Lambert's law states that the decreasing intensity of radiation with the thickness of the absorbing medium is directly proportional to the intensity of radiation and concentration of the solution. The mathematical form of this law is I is equal to I naught e to the power of minus k into c into d. This is taken in the logarithmic form. Log of I naught by I is equal to epsilon c into d, where I naught is intensity of incident radiation, I is equal to intensity of transmitted radiation, c is concentration of the solution, d is thickness of the solution, then epsilon indicates molar extension coefficient. Okay, then directly I will start the experiment. Scale. This experiment, there are two sets are there, two parts are there. One is selection of filter, another one is determination of molar extension coefficient. Before going to the selection of filter, first we have to prepare the solutions in 7 test tubes. Test tube number 7, 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 7 test tubes. Then volume of 0.01 molar copper sulfate solution. So in the first test tube you have to add 1 ml, second test tube 2 ml, 3 ml, so on. The last test tube is 7 ml. The volume of 2 molar ammonium hydroxide you have to take as in all the test tube 2 ml. In each test tube you have to add ammonium hydroxide. Then volume of water, that is 7. In the first test tube you have to add 7 ml, 6 ml, 5 ml, 4, 3, 2, 1. Overall the total volume is in all the test tube is 10 ml. Okay, then you have to calculate in this second part, you have to calculate OD. That depends upon the first part, that is first how to select the filter. So directly I will go for instrument. This is calorimeter, then apparatus like holometric flask, burette stand, then test tube, that is the solution, preparation of solution that is present in the test tubes. So that test tubes are in test tube stand. Directly I will go for this experiment. In these experiments, there are two parts are there. In the first part, selection of filter. The second part is determination of molar extension coefficient of copper sulfate. So before going to the molar extension coefficient of copper, first I will tell about how to determine or how to find out the selection of filter. So in this case, already we have to prepare the 7 solutions. In this case, the 9 wavelengths are the instrument containing 9 wavelengths. Then one is percentage transmission, another key is optical density, another one is concentration mode. That is directly I will go for optical density. In this that is optical density, you have to take as 2 QADs. So how to select the filter number or how to select the wavelength? Both are same. So there are 2 QADs are taken in this experiment. One QAD having the one QAD sample is water, that is distilled water. Another QAD is taken as a copper sulfate sample, that is in the fourth test tube. So in this fourth solution, either low concentration or high concentration. No high or no low concentration. Because of in the first test tube, only 1 ml of copper is present, that is the concentration of that solution is very low. On the other hand, the last test tube having the copper present in the last test tube 7 ml, the concentration of that is very high. So in that case, at equilibrium, only the fourth solution is equal, not very high, not very low. In that case also, we have to select the sample number 4 is used as a selection of filter. So that solution is used as a selection of filter. Then there are 9 filters are there in the calorimeter. Out of 9, only one filter is selected. So that is maximum optical density is obtained, taken in the fourth solution. Okay. So first is you have to take as 2 QADs. One QAD having the distilled water, another QAD having the sample solution, like fourth solution. Okay. In the 41, filter number 41, you have to adjust water, distilled water. Then first you have to adjust 0, 0. Water 0% or percentage transmission is auto 0. Then directly you have to keep it in fourth solution, that is 0.01. 0.01 optical density. The increase in wavelength, that is 43. The water, keep it in water in calorimeter, then auto 0. Then solution 0.024, 0.02 only, sorry. Then again 47, adjust auto 0, 0. Solution is third solution 0.03, 0.03. Then 49, auto 0, 49. Fourth solution 0.09. Then 52, change the filter number 52, auto 0, that is obtained from water sample. Then the given sample which is in fourth solution 52, the optical density is 0.1052. In 54, filter number 54, the process is same, auto 0, water, keep it in calorimeter, then the water, you have to start the auto 0 or the percentage transmission 0, 0, replaced by the fourth solution. The optical density is 0.1154, 0.11. Again, filter number, change the filter number 58, then you water sample is, keep it in calorimeter, start the auto 0, then replace the sample of copper in 58, that is 0.20 in 58, 61, auto 0, 0.20, 0.1961, 0.1861, auto 0, sample, for sample 0.1964.19. Okay, then in this, out of 9 wavelengths or 9 filter numbers, which one is maximum OD? That gives the selection of filter. That is 58. Filter number 58, which gives the optical density is 0.20, which gives the optical density is 0.20. So that is the maximum OD. So you have to select that filter number, that is filter number 58 is the selection of filter, which gives of this experiment is how to determine molar expansion coefficient, that is epsilon. Previously I will tell about that, the mathematical form of Beer-Lambert's law. So epsilon is molar expansion coefficient of copper sulfate. Okay. So in this experiment you have to fix the filter number which gives the maximum optical density, that is 58. Filter number 58 is the fix. Then you have to only change the solutions. Okay. So the 58. Then the water, that is the percentage transmission auto 0, the sample of water is same, then directly you have to operate percentage transmission or auto 0, 0, 0, then directly you have to change this only in the solution number 1, 2, 3, we will get the optical, that corresponding optical densities, corresponding concentration of the solution, we will get different optical densities are obtained in the first sample, which is having first test tube number 1 or first test tube having the copper sulfate is 1 ml, that is very low concentration, that gives the very low optical density. So the filter number is fixed, only differing test tube solutions of different test tubes. Okay. Once again, the water taken in the cuvette is keep it in calorimeter, then that is only the zero transmission or percentage transmission is auto 0, we will get the 0 transmission, that is adjustment. Then directly you have to take the solution like first solution, that solution having only 1 ml of 0.01 molar copper sulfate, which gives the optical density is 0.09 optical density. Similarly, water sample is same, filter number is same, you have to differ only in the solution content. The concentration of the solution is different. In the second test tube, the 2 ml of copper sulfate is present, automatically the optical density, concentration is volume increases, concentration is increases, automatically the optical density is also increases. So that is the filter, that is solution number 2, auto 0, solution number 2 will get 0.13. Then filter number or wavelength is the same, that is fixed 58, which gives the maximum optical density. Then once again you want to keep it in water sample, which gives the percentage transmission. Then you want to change this only the third test tube, that is the third test tube, like the concentration of copper is differ, which containing 3 ml of 0.01 molar copper sulfate solution is present. So the concentration increases, concentration of the copper increases, automatically the optical density is also increases. That is in the third. So we will get 0.16, 0.16. Similarly, auto 0, water sample, auto 0, 4 solution. Solution having 4 ml of copper, 2 ml of ammonia, 1:1 ammonia, then remaining 4 ml of water, total volume of each sample having 10 ml. So, the fourth solution 0.2258. Two zero five eight. Two five eight is 22. Then once again auto 0. The solution changes to a fifth test tube. The concentration of the fifth solution is increases because the concentration of fifth solution having 5 ml of copper present, 2 ml of ammonia and remaining 3 ml of water is present in that solution. Okay, so auto 0 58, the wavelength of filter number is the fixed. Fifth solution 0.27. Similarly, water, sixth solution, rinse the cuvette with sixth solution. The sixth solution, test tube number 6 having 6 ml of copper sulfate solution is present. Then 2 ml of 1:1 ammonia, remaining 2 ml of is also 10 ml. 0.30. Then lastly, the wavelength of filter number is the fixed auto 0. Only the change in concentration of the solution, that is the test tube number 7 having 7 ml of copper, 2 ml of 1:1 ammonia, then remaining 1 ml of distilled water is taken in all the test tube. The total volume is 10 ml. Then what is the optical density in the 7th test tube? That is 7 ml of 0.35, 0.35 optical density. So in that case, so all we have to know about what do you mean by optical density. Optical density is also known as absorbance. Absorbance, that is the incident light absorbs of concentration of, that is the known concentration and as well as in the known thickness of the medium. In this experiment, the medium is in liquid medium, that is copper sulfate solution. Okay. The last part is, from graphically we have to find out the epsilon. From graphically we have to find out the epsilon. That epsilon is called as molar extension coefficient. Okay. So in that case you have to plotting a graph of absorbance or optical density versus concentration of Cu+2 ions. So how to calculate Cu+2 ion? In that case, the concentration of Cu+2 ions is M1V1 is equal to M2V2. So you find out M1. M1 is equal to M2V2 by V1. M2 is, that is the molar concentration, that is the molarity. Concentration of copper. V2 is volume of copper. Then that is V1 is total volume. Total volume is 10 ml. In the first test tube, the concentration M2, that is in the taken as molarity, that is the concentration terms. Okay, so the M2 means in the first test tube only 1 ml of copper present, so you have to taken as M2 is taken as 1 ml. Of Cu+2 ions, M1V1 is equal to M2V2. M1 and M2 are the molarities, that is in concentration terms. V1 and V2 are the volume of the solution. So M1 is equal to M2V2 by V1. So you have to find out the concentration, that is the unknown concentration. Total volume, you find out the concentration of that 1 ml, 2 ml, so on. So M1 is equal to M2V2 by V1. M2 is the concentration of copper present in the first solution. V2 is the volume of first solution. Then V1 is total volume. In the first test tube, M1 is equal to M2 is concentration 0.01. V2 is only 1 ml is taken. The total volume is 10. We'll get 0.001 molar. 0.001 molar, or you may write 1 into 10 to the power of minus 3 m. Similarly, in the second one, 0.01 molar is the constant concentration. Only differ in volume, you have to take an as 2. The total volume is also same, that is total volume 10. We will get 0.002. Similarly, in the seventh, 0.007 molar, that is the concentration. So on the basis of this, you have to find out the epsilon. Epsilon is obtained only from graphical representation. So that graph you have to plot a graph of absorbance or optical density versus concentration of Cu plus 2 ions. That is along the x-axis concentration of Cu plus 2 ions, along the y-axis optical density or absorbance. So you find out that one is directly a straight line. Formation or obtained in the straight line, that straight line that must pass us through origin. That is the verification of Beer-Lambert's law. In that straight line, you find out the slope that is AB by BC. So in that, one is L, another the value is epsilon. L is length of the path, then epsilon is molar extension coefficient. Usually the value of thickness L is equal to 1 centimeter. So you have to easily find out the epsilon. That epsilon is molar extension coefficient of Cu plus 2 ions. Part of this experiment, that is calorimeter experiment, is determination of molar extension coefficient of copper sulfate solution. That is based on graph. So that plot a graph of optical density or absorbance against the concentration of Cu plus 2 ions. So the concentration of Cu plus 2 ions is along the x-axis, concentration of Cu plus 2 ions, along the y-axis, optical density or absorbance. Then you have to scale as x-axis 1 centimeter is equal to 1 into 10 to the power of minus 3 molar. Along the y-axis 1 centimeter is equal to 0.05 optical density. So in this graph, all the points, all the solutions having the optical density, you have to plot a graph of optical density versus concentration. We will get a straight line. So that straight line must pass us through origin. That is the verification of Beer-Lambert's law. In this straight line, you find out the slope. So that is slope is equal to epsilon into L. Before going to the slope is equal to epsilon into L, first you have to find out the slope of that straight line. That slope is equal to AB by BC. We will get the value is 40. Slope is equal to 40. Then you find out, your aim is find out the epsilon. So the value of epsilon is slope is equal to epsilon into L. Therefore epsilon is equal to slope divided by L.